So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for yet more unrealistic things in FIFA 20 career mode. I told you last time it was optimistic to think there would only be 9 in this game mode. Well, today we are cementing that. I'm going to be bringing you another 9 things that I think are completely unrealistic in FIFA 20 career mode in the hope that maybe, just maybe, someone from EA is watching this and thinking about things to put into the next patch for the game, and they're like, you know what? Actually, Niran, you're right. They're probably not watching, and even if they are, they're probably not gonna think that, but we move anyway. It's fair to say the most recent patch for career mode wasn't exactly as extensive as we maybe would have hoped it would be. Now, if you go on to enjoy the video, then slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video, and it massively helps me out. But let's jump into proceedings, shall we? Without any further ado, number 1, press conference questions. Now, this is not a dig at the overall scheme of press conference questions. I'm a massive fan of this being in the game now, like genuinely. It's good. It was technology that was in the journey like 4 years ago, but we can gloss over that for now. It's nice they finally brought it into career mode. However, some of the things I'm getting asked are quite frankly ridiculous. I know I haven't played my centre-back, my star centre-back in this game. It's because he was suspended. Why are you asking me about not playing him? It's very clear as to why he's not involved in the matchday squad. A lot of the stuff they ask you about, you either wouldn't get questions about it in real life, or there's a very obvious reason as to why it's the case. And then on top of that, a lot of them are just plain inaccurate. There's been so many times where I've scored multiple goals in the second half of a game, and it said, what do you think about the fact you didn't score in the second half of the game? I literally know for a fact. I just don't understand it. I don't understand the algorithms that go into some of the questions because they're just factually inaccurate. Again, as I said, overall, it's nice to see press conferences, but they do need to be tweaked because some of them are like specific questions that certain things need to have happened before when you actually ask them, and those things aren't happening, if that makes sense. If you're gonna have specific questions, make sure that they're asked at relevant times and not when they're completely inaccurate. Number 2 is that we can no longer do loan to buy offers. And I get that on the face of it, this isn't really necessarily unrealistic. It's just a feature that is missing. But when you compare it to the amount of times the loan to, you know, actual future fee or permanent transfer deal happens, the fact that it's not in the game at all is very unrealistic. Now, it's a strange one because this is something that was in previous FIFAs. I think as early as like FIFA 14 or FIFA 15 career mode, you could put in a loan offer to, you know, to bring in a player for a year or 3 months or whatever. And then just underneath it would have a future fee, and that would indicate that you want to buy them when that loan deal expires. Now, not every time would an AI team accept that. Sometimes they'd be like, nah, I just kind of want to loan out the player, I want to bring them back afterwards, and that's absolutely fine. But a lot of the time, they would actually accept, and it was a really good way of getting players for a bit of a cut price deal. But now you just can't do it. You can only loan in a player, and that's like the end of it. You can obviously determine the split in wages, which is quite nice. It's good to be able to at least customize a loan deal in some respect, but then not being able to turn it into a permanent transfer afterwards is very odd because deals like that happen so frequently, even with really big players. I know it's only specifics. People like Kylian Mbappe was always going to sign permanently for Paris Saint-Germain after his initial 1-year loan from Monaco expired. But it is basically a way of shifting money or responsibility of paying money onto the next season, and that would actually be quite useful in career mode as well, especially given you can't request funds anymore. Now, number 3, we've got players wanting to leave as soon as they've joined. Now, personally, I haven't experienced this too many times, but I did see it a lot in the comment section, and I have seen it in other people's career mode series and saves on social media as well. Basically, either when you promote a youth academy player or you bring in a player using the transfer market, whatever, within 3 months, they can say they want to leave because they haven't had enough game time. I'm not being funny. I'm not allowed to buy a player within 6 months if they've just moved between AI teams. So why should a player that I've just signed be able to leave that quickly just because I didn't play them in the FA Cup? Because ultimately, players get so unhappy at their playtime so easily that it literally takes something as easy as that especially if they're a crucial first-team player. I don't care if you're a crucial first-team player. I'm not risking you against Aldershot Town in round 1 of the FA Cup. It's just odd. Like, there should be a limit, like a certain minimum amount of time before a player can leave, before a player can force through a deal to go somewhere else. It is just completely unrealistic for a player to come in and a month and a half or 2 months later, like 6 games later in terms of the actual Premier League season, for example, be forcing through a move somewhere else. It should be at least 6 months, like it is with every other team, before a player can go somewhere else. Number 4 is one that I've talked about a couple of times before, but it's still a thing in the game. Oh, I don't understand how this was allowed to be added to career mode, but we move anyway. It is that you can be sacked for giving a player a contract that's too good. Yep, if you offer a player a lot of money, you can be sacked for it. Now, I understand if you go above, like way above and way beyond what they should be getting paid. That's fair. If you've got a player who should be getting 20k a week and you give them 250k a week, then I could understand that because you're being stupid with your finances. But if it's a player who actually should be earning that much, why am I not allowed to give them the contract for it? I'll give you an example. I was simming through for an experiment on this channel at one point. I was playing as Liverpool, and Joe Gomez somehow got to like 94 overall using dynamic potential, which is amazing. He was one of the best players in the game at the time, and then it came to offering him a new contract, and I gave him what the game suggested I should give him, and I was sacked for it the next day because he was getting paid too much in comparison to the rest of the team. That's not my fault. That's not Joe Gomez's fault. He's just really good. The game, in essence, just punishes you for having really good players in the team. I think I had another time where I offered someone 250k. The next best player was on 180, and that was still considered too much in comparison to the rest of the team. Where's the line? Do I have to work out the absolute average of the whole squad and then keep below a certain boundary? I just can't be bothered, man. Number 5 is unrealistic transfer offers from AI teams. And with this, I mean in terms of the locations that the teams are coming from. If I am selling a player at Crew Alexandra, I'm not expecting a team from the Brazilian league to come in for my 23-year-old English right back. It just doesn't make any sense. He's not gonna go there as well. It causes its own issues because then the transfer talks break down, because he doesn't want to go to Brazil. He's from Crew. He wants to stay in the local area, or at least in the country. He doesn't want to go to Brazil. He doesn't want to go to Poland or flipping Bulgaria. That's not even a league on the game, but it wouldn't even surprise me if I still got an offer from there. And just generally, it is unrealistic as well. There should be a system in place where, like, I don't know, English teams trade between themselves. So infrequently do I see an English team buy a player from another English team, especially like youngsters who are at like big teams, for example. Let's say an Arsenal youngster will never go out on loan to another team in England or get bought by a team in the Championship, which would happen if he fell out of favour at Arsenal. If Unai Emery decided that he wasn't good enough to play for the club, he'd sign for a team in the Championship or League One more often than not. Never happens on FIFA career mode. Number 6 is the fact that you can pretty much buy anyone for anyone on a pre-contract agreement. And what I mean by that is you could be managing Macclesfield Town. If Cristiano Ronaldo's contract's up, you're signing him. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. And for this one, I will admit, it's quite entertaining. It is funny. Seeing Cristiano Ronaldo at Macclesfield Town is something that I personally would enjoy as well. It makes it a bit too easy, probably, to do a road to glory. If you're that way inclined, you could just sign anyone, and then you can just sim all the games, win everything, win the Champions League, and then that's it. That's the story done. It's fun to an element, but it is still kind of unrealistic. Number 7 is a simple one. It's that we can't receive trade deals from the AI. I would quite happily, in certain instances, sell one of my players in return for a player from the team that's bidding for him, but it's just not possible. AI teams physically are incapable of doing trade deals unless you ask them to do one. So if I'm bidding for a player myself, I can do a trade deal, but they then can't do that for me if they're bidding for one of my players that's up for sale. Number 8 is that managers don't move around and don't retire. I know Arsene Wenger's left Arsenal now, now, but there was a point a couple of years ago where he could have carried on managing, I believe, till he was 82 years old, which, although is impressive, is borderline impossible. Arsene, mate, give up. Go home. It's fine. You were really good in your day. You're 82 now. Listen, take your pension, old people's home, have your oatmeal, and just chill out. There's no need for you to be a manager still. But even on top of that, if a team does badly, the manager should get sacked. Like, it would be quite cool to see that transferring of managers going between different teams. Even if it was just literally managers retiring and then getting replaced by players who had themselves retired. I know you can get a situation where Ronaldo or Messi are managing actual club teams on the game, but you've got to do it yourself. You've got to start a player like career mode with them, then retire, and then you are Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever. It would be sick for you to be your own manager and then to come up against Cristiano Ronaldo as a manager. And then finally, number 9 is that AI teams just don't replace the players they sell. They've stopped stocking up on players for the most part. That's not too bad anymore. But there's so many situations where I'll have a look at, for a video, for example, I'll look at Real Madrid and see their team 5 years from now. They've got no goalies. They've got one goalkeeper who's 57 rated and that's all they've got. Use some intelligence, lads. You know it wouldn't happen in real life. I'm not saying that Real Madrid can't become bad, but there would never be a situation where they've got world-class players around the rest of the pitch, and then their goalkeeper is Sunday League quality. But that is everything for today's video, and I hope you have enjoyed a further 9 things that are unrealistic in career mode. I know it seems like a complaint all the time. I am, yes, admittedly, I am complaining all the time. I was about to try and get myself out of that situation, but I do complain all the time. I'm trying to at least bring these issues to attention, because they're small things, I'm not gonna lie, but imagine if all 18 of the things I've talked about across the 2 videos were fixed tomorrow. Career mode would be infinitely better, in my opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If there's any that I missed out in this video, whilst you're down there, slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at TheOfficialFNG on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.